Hi everyone, welcome to Discover Community Education, your guide to the personal enrichment non-credit classes that PCC offers through community education. I'm Jess Nestlinger. This week we take a look at classes that help you get around, maybe in a way you hadn't expected. We start with Motorist to Be in our driver education program.
Hi, my name is Tom Whitfield. I'm an instructor at Portland Community College Driver Education, and I'm here to teach you the safest ways to drive that we can make you a more skilled, educated, and defensive driver out on the road. Driver education teaches the skills, knowledge, and attitudes essential for safe and skillful driving. That, along with parent involvement, is essential to our program. We start them out at a beginning level and work them up until they're competent to be out on the road. We work them in a step-by-step, easy to complex method on all of our lessons that we give them.
Well, I've had my license for 14 years, but now Tom's going to take me for a spin in the Prius, and I'm going to experience what a new driver education student will experience. Ready, Tom?
Ready.
All right.
At the stop line, let's turn right.
Now, Tom, when I took driver education a long time ago, they had us put our hands at the 10 and 2 position. Has that changed?
Now we teach 9 and 3 or 8 and 4. And we want you to use shuffle method, push-pull.
So it's more of a under-over.
New drivers usually face the challenge of making sure that they are ready to drive. And they're usually a little bit hesitant about the fact that do they actually know where all the controls are and not playing games on a video machine. The hardest thing for a lot of students to get into is where do I start a turn? Steering. In other words, how do I keep the car in the center of the lane and not be weaving from one side of the lane to the other? We call that tracking. We teach them this type of thing with targeting, path of travel, and other techniques that are taught during the class. Remember, target all the way down to the middle of the lane, keep your eyes up high, and center yourself in the lane. You have to kind of do a little zigzag here because you're going to go over to the left lane and go straight ahead. Remember to be looking around the corner, keep your eyes up as far as possible down the road. At the stop sign, turn right, and Justin, this time I want you to make sure you come to complete stop.
Okay. That is something I'm definitely going to have to work on. So Tom, what happens if I wasn't going to stop in time to make this corner?
All driver ed cars by law are required to have a brake, and I'll use it for you. See, I can make actually stop us without you pressing.
All right, yeah, my foot is off everything. All right.
So we have that as a backup system.
I notice you have some rear view mirrors on your side of the car. What are those used for?
These are used for the instructor's rear view mirrors, where I can see what's coming up behind us and going on behind us. And this mirror is designed so that I can see your eyes and see whether or not you're effectively using them by checking your mirrors and other areas.
I've been learning a lot of really neat, interesting stuff, becoming a much better driver, good rules of the road stuff.
In driver's education, a lot of it surprised me. Like, I thought it would be kind of easy, like, oh, you know, I already know basically this, but there's a lot of specific things that I didn't know you really have to focus on when you drive, and like maintenance of the car and stuff like that, and all the signals and how to work it and everything. It's just really specific, and I wasn't expecting that, but it really helps.
I like when we do activities like today, for example, in driver's education. He was quizzing us on signs, and it was very interactive, which I like.
Now, how many drive lessons will students typically spend in the parking lot or around the campuses?
Usually the first lesson we do most of our stuff in the parking lot and just working on roads around the campus itself. And after about halfway through the second lesson, we'll be off campus. In some of our situations where we don't have a campus like this, we would be basically out on the road right after we do our parking lot drills. Something may happen on the first student's drive that is a teaching situation that doesn't happen in the second. So we want them observing about what's going on. And we also have some little things for them to do in the back, kind of an observation log as far as what they're actually doing when they're in that back seat.
Yeah, the behind the wheel sessions are really very interesting, and we learn good driving skills in them.
All driver education instructors that work for us are required to take training programs through the Department of Transportation in Oregon. And this actually helps the student because we have more of a continuity of education throughout the program because we've all been trained the same and we all have the same goals and objectives throughout the program.
How hard is it for new students to control their speed?
Up at the Sylvania campus, we have a nice little outer road that goes all the way around the campus that we can work on that since the speed on this road is only 20 miles an hour to begin with. At the stop sign, we're going to go straight ahead.
What about teaching driver education is the most rewarding for you?
The fact that you get to work with a large diversity of students. Everything from brand new students, this is the first time they've ever been behind the wheel and they're extremely nervous, to people who basically have been putting off learning how to drive for numerous years for whatever reason, and now they've chosen that they want to learn to drive also, and they're also excited about getting the opportunity to be instructed how to do so as safely as possible.
I think the most important thing that I've learned in driver's education is the rules of the road, because when you're actually out there, sometimes it's hard to know what lane you're supposed to be in and stuff, and they've taught me a lot about that. Because the instructors are more experienced than, say, my parents, it's a really good environment to learn in, probably better than just learning at home.
Do students ever have difficulty judging their left from their right?
Yes, if they do, we work on that. The thing like left hand, put it up here like that, loser, means left. Also, if they really have a hard time, I will give them instruction, like left, until they get more comfortable with that situation. Nice smooth stop, Jess.
Hey Tom, thanks for taking me out today.
Thank you for coming.
How did I do?
You did very well. You might want to work a little bit on the complete stops and who has the right of way at the intersections, but other than that, you were one of my better students today.
I'm glad to hear it. If you want more information about the PCC Driver Education Program, please go online to pcc.edu/drive.